Welcome back to the channel. Today is a great day to explore the chaos unfolding in Genoa. We have a crucial update for all of you today, and things are getting incredibly tense for the Winters family and almost everyone else caught up in this mess can hold and trust Simmons' words. So we really need to start by talking about Kane Ashby, because the man is completely unraveling right in front of our eyes. And honestly, it is hard to watch, but also impossible to look away. Right now, Kane is on his train, and things are just falling apart at the seams. One of his employees comes up to him and hands him a financial report, and it is just the worst possible news you could imagine. The report basically shows that Abbotts has absolutely nothing left. The company is completely drained. It is a total financial disaster zone, so Kane is just sitting there, looking at this piece of paper that says his entire business empire is reduced to rubble. And something inside of him just snaps. You can see the exact moment he loses his grip on reality, and instead of trying to rebuild the right way, Kane decides to go completely rogue. He is so angry and so bitter about everything that has happened to him, especially after Lily and Victor faked that kidnapping. He feels like the world owes him. So he makes this wild decision that he is just going to take what other people have built. He wants to steal their success, and he doesn't even care how illegal or dirty it gets. He is literally sitting there talking about using extortion and kidnapping to get what he wants. Because in his twisted, broken mind, that is just how people do business in Genoa City now. He looks at Victor Newman and thinks, well, if Victor can do it and get away with it, why can't I? It is a total moral collapse for Kane, but of course, the employee standing there is absolutely terrified. Because he is just a regular guy, and he does not want to go to prison for committing actual felonies, so the employee hesitates. He pushes back a little bit because he doesn't want to do something highly illegal. And Kane just loses it. He has zero patience left. So he fires the guy right on the spot. Just like that. You hesitate, you're gone. Kane is officially entering his dark villain era. He is isolating himself and surrounding himself only with people who will blindly follow his chaotic orders. It is a terrifying shift in his personality. Meanwhile, over at the Genoa City Athletic Club, the vibe is just incredibly awkward. Lily Winters is hanging out and she happens to bump into Devin Winters and Nate Hastings. And you just know the tension is suffocating. Because Devin recently went absolutely nuclear on Lily over the whole fake kidnapping scheme. He laid into her so hard. But at the end of the day, they are still family. So they are trying to navigate this really weird, uncomfortable space. Devin and Nate are sitting there, and they ask Lily to join them for a meal. Just trying to be somewhat normal, but Lily has to turn them down. She tells them she has to skip the meal because she has an appointment to meet someone else. And immediately, Devin gets that protective, suspicious look in his eye. He is instantly on edge. He says out loud that he really hopes she isn't meeting Kane. Because Devin absolutely despises Kane right now. He wants Kane completely out of their lives. But before Lily can even really answer, the doors to the club open up, and it isn't Kane who walks in. It is Malcolm Winters, and the entire energy in the room just completely changes in a split second. It is like a breath of fresh air for all of them. So it turns into this really sweet, impromptu mini-family reunion right there in the lobby. Malcolm is smiling, giving hugs, saying hello to everyone. Devin and Nate are genuinely thrilled to see him. It is a nice break from all the corporate warfare and family backstabbing. But Malcolm is not just there to catch up on old times. He has an agenda. After the initial greetings, Malcolm looks at Lily and says he needs to speak with her privately. He specifically asks to take her down to the jazz lounge so they can be alone. And of course, this leaves Devin and Nate standing there, totally confused. They immediately start speculating. What does Malcolm need to talk to Lily alone? What is going on? Is he in some kind of trouble? But they let them go downstairs. And it is a good thing they left, because guess who walks into the GCAC right after that? Kane Ashby, and he's carrying all that dark, toxic energy from the train right into the club. Devin sees him and immediately steps up. Devin is not playing around anymore. He looks Kane dead in the eye and tells him he needs to leave town. He wants Kane gone, but Kane just scoffs at him. Kane makes it very clear that he is not going anywhere. He tells Devin that he has some really big plans in Genoa City. And we know those plans involve hostile takeovers and extortion. But Devin doesn't know the details. Devin just knows Kane is bad news. So Devin issues a really harsh threat. He tells Kane that if any of his so-called big plans involve Lily or the Winters family in any way, Devin will personally come after him. He promises to hunt Kane down and stop him. It is a very alpha male standoff. But Kane is just so full of hate right now. He looks right back at Devin and says he wants absolutely nothing to do with Lily. He wants nothing to do with her business or her family. He claims he is completely done with them. But honestly, it feels like Kane is just trying to convince himself. The anger is just masking a lot of deep pain. While all that testosterone is flying around upstairs, things are getting incredibly emotional down in the jazz lounge. Malcolm and Lily walk in, and the first thing Malcolm does is walk over to the portrait of Neil Winters. And it is just such a heavy moment. Neil was the absolute rock of the Winters family. And Malcolm just stands there, staring at his late brother's picture. You can tell he is drawing strength from Neil, because Malcolm is facing something terrifying. He finally turns away from the portrait, looks at Lily, and drops a massive bombshell. Malcolm confesses to Lily that he is facing a severe health crisis. He tells her that he has been officially diagnosed with aplastic anemia, and it is very serious. He explains that his body is failing and he desperately needs a bone marrow transplant to survive. It is a literal life or death situation. And to see Malcolm, this usually strong and vibrant guy, standing there admitting how sick and vulnerable he is just heartbreaking. He is terrified. And Lily is just completely stunned. The shock washes over her. But then, almost immediately, this overwhelming sense of gratitude hits her, which sounds weird, but it makes sense. Because when Neil died, Lily felt so incredibly helpless. They all did. There was absolutely nothing anyone could do to save Neil. He was just gone. But this situation with Malcolm is different. This is a medical crisis that actually has a potential solution. Lily looks at Malcolm and tells him how grateful she is for the chance to help. She wants to be the one to save his life. She is so desperate to fix something in her family after causing so much damage with the fake kidnapping. Saving Malcolm is exactly what she needs to do. So they have this really beautiful, tearful moment, but they also have to be practical. Malcolm and Lily make a pact right then and there. They decide that when they go back upstairs, they are going to keep this diagnosis a total secret from Devin and Nate. They just don't want to cause a massive family panic until they have more answers and a concrete plan for the transplant. They need to keep it quiet for now. So they wipe their tears and head back upstairs to the main club, and Malcolm immediately spots Kane. And even though Malcolm is dealing with this massive, life-threatening illness, he still takes the time to step up to Kane. Malcolm gives Kane a very stern warning. He tells Kane straight up that nobody in town wants him around. He lets Kane know that the entire family is united against him and he needs to back off. Kane just takes it, but you know it just adds fuel to his angry fire. Now let's shift gears and talk about Phyllis Summers. Because Phyllis is living in her own little world of chaos, and she is loving every second of it. We see Phyllis in her office, and she has just closed some massive business deal. She is on top of the world. She picks up the phone and calls Lauren Fenmore Baldwin just to brag. Phyllis is talking a mile a minute, boasting about how great she is. She tells Lauren that they don't need anyone else. They are unstoppable. Phyllis is just so arrogant right now. She thinks she is completely untouchable as CEO. So Phyllis decides to take her victory lap over to the athletic club. She struts in like she owns the place. She briefly bumps into Malcolm and says a quick hello, but then her eyes lock onto Kane. And Phyllis just cannot resist poking a wounded bear. She walks right up to Kane and starts taunting him. She knows he is miserable. She assumes he is only staying in Genoa City to get revenge. So she literally accuses him of sticking around just to plot against her, against Lily, and against Victor Newman. She is smiling while she says it, like it's all a big joke to her. But Kane is actually unhinged right now. Phyllis has no idea how dangerous he is actually becoming. She is playing with fire. Alright, so let's leave the club and head over to Crimson Lights. Because the drama there is just as intense. Holden Novak is sitting there, looking at his phone. He reads a text message from his mom, Dr. Stephanie Simmons. The text says she is running late, but she is definitely on her way. So Holden is just waiting around, but then Audra Charles walks in. And you know Audra is always looking for a fight. She walks right up to Holden, and they instantly start clashing. They get into this huge argument about Claire Newman. Holden has been getting really close to Claire, and Audra is trying to manipulate the situation. Holden is totally sick of Audra's games. So he decides to play hardball. Holden looks at Audra and acts like he is about to go straight to Claire and tell her the entire truth about what happened back in Los Angeles. We still don't know exactly what this dark LA secret is, but it is obviously huge. And Audra's entire demeanor changes. The smug smile drops. She gets incredibly dark and threatening. She leans in and tells Holden that if he ever breathes a word about Los Angeles to anyone, she will completely destroy him. She threatens to make his life absolutely miserable. It is a very real, very vicious threat, and Holden is just standing there, absorbing it. The tension between them is off the charts. They are basically in a standoff in the middle of the coffee shop, and right at the peak of this argument, Stephanie Simmons walks through the doors of Crimson Lights. And she instantly sees this random woman aggressively threatening her son. Stephanie immediately goes into full mama bear mode. She marches right over to them and loudly demands answers. She wants to know who Audra is and why she is talking to Holden like that. Stephanie is not messing around. She is ready to fight for her kid, but Holden completely panics. He does not want his mom digging into his past and finding out about the shady stuff he did in LA, so he desperately tries to de-escalate the situation. He forces a laugh and tells Stephanie that everything is fine. He claims they are just messing around. He tries to play it off like they are just old friends giving each other a hard time. It is a terrible lie, but he is desperate. Audra, being the master manipulator that she is, instantly plays along. She puts on the sickly sweet fake smile and introduces herself. She actually reaches out to shake Stephanie's hand, and Stephanie is just glaring at her. Stephanie is very reluctant, but eventually, she shakes Audra's hand just to avoid a public scene. Audra finally leaves them alone. But as soon as she is gone, Stephanie drops the act. She looks at Holden and tells him very clearly that she does not like Audra. She says she does not trust her at all. Stephanie's instincts are screaming that Audra is bad news, but then the mood shifts completely. Because Holden looks at his mom, and he can tell she is carrying some heavy baggage, he starts getting really worried. He asks her why she really came all the way to Genoa City to visit him, and his mind immediately goes to the worst case scenario. He asks Stephanie if she is sick. He is so scared that it is a health crisis, but Stephanie quickly reassures him. She insists that she is not sick, it is not about her health, but she looks at him with tears in her eyes. She tells Holden that she has something to tell him, something incredibly important. She warns him that what she is about to say is going to completely change his world. It is going to change everything he thought he knew about his life, and we all know what is coming. She is preparing to drop the massive secret that Malcolm Winters is his biological father. And that is exactly where things are heading. When the next episode airs, we are going to see Stephanie finally gather all of her courage. She is going to look Holden in the eye and assert that it is finally time he knew the real truth about his father. It is going to be an absolutely explosive moment. Holden's entire identity is about to be ripped apart, and the fallout for the Winters family is going to be legendary. We cannot wait to see how this all plays out on screen. On our channel, I always seek inspiration for each video by compiling short video clips to analyze and offer my personal architectural opinions. This channel specializes in analyzing, hypothesizing, and discussing plot points in the Young and the Restless series from the perspective of a longtime fan. Through this, viewers can gain deeper, more objective, and more interesting insights. Subscribe to the channel to stay updated on the latest news about the Young and the Restless series.